since I'm graduating, I have to do 10 credits too. And unfortunately, I did not think about doing a foreign language and getting so many that way. I ended up taking 3 separate honors classes. I took field ecology, the same history classes for Professor Irwin, who is amazing, and sociology with Dr. Maggio, who is here tonight. And for my projects, with my field ecology project, I looked into crow behavior and crow intelligence. As many of you know, living around here, Ames has a very high crow population, so there was plenty to study. And then for my history project, I wrote a historical short fiction story about the 1930 lynching of 3 boys in Marion, Indiana. And that was creatively interesting for me. Historical fiction is a personal passion of mine. And getting into that story and reading, it was a very sad story, lots of gruesome details. So it was very emotional writing it. As part of writing historical fiction, you know the basic timeline of what happened, but there's all kinds of extra little details that you can fill in. There's the unknown things, like in this case, the unknown was who the shooter was. So I kind of got to play around with that storyline and write a version of the truth. And so that was just very interesting. And then for my sociology project, I was studying the reintegration, the social reintegration of wrongfully convicted people on death row and how their life goes once they've been released. And as part of that, I did a special case study on 3 boys from West Memphis, Arkansas. They're known collectively as the West Memphis 3, who were convicted in 1994 of murdering 3 8-year-old boys. And then just last year, they were released from prison, only they didn't get exonerated. They were kind of strong-armed into taking what is called an Alford plea, which meant that their social reintegration process was not as thorough as it could have been if they had actually received the exoneration notification. And even for those who are exonerated through this project, I've learned that they're not very well compensated either. So it has, prison reform is kind of a personal passion of mine